Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Gillen's Garage. And today we're putting an S&B silicone body mount kit on my 97 F350. And there's lots of videos out there, so I'm not going to show you everything because there's lots of stuff out there. You guys can check it out. S&B has an install video, which is super helpful. But there's a couple of things that I found while installing this that I thought I'd pass on as some helpful hints to make it go easier for you guys. So here they are. All right, so on the bumper here, I got a couple of things. I've got the third row removal tool that's supplied with your S&B kit. Now, if you can see, it's kind of dished out because I had one of the bushings that really was seized up in there. So tip number one is when you pull the bolt out up from the cab side, spray down in there with your favorite penetrating oil and let that sit so that hopefully they come apart a little bit easier. But tip number two is sometimes when you're getting these over, when the weight of the cab is on it, you can see how it barely wants to go over that rubber bushing right now. Well, when the weight of the truck is on it, and if the bottom nut is slightly offset, let me see if I can offset that, right? So that the rubber is not perfectly lined up, you have a real hard time getting this over it. So what I found, and basically, so here's the factory piece of all thread they give you, right? So what I found is that even if you just thread this in and you're having a hard time getting the bushing over that because of it, you can't get it. So it would pay to get yourself a longer piece of all thread. And also, if you look on this all thread, I got this nice heavy washer. It helps spread that load and help keep that from deflecting quite as much with another layer. So tip number two, add a longer piece of all thread to help pull the removal tool over the bushing till it contacts the cab floor. So I'm going to move around the side of the truck and show you tip number three. Okay, so you can see I got my body lines matching up really nicely. And before, the cab was down, at least about 5/8 of an inch. So the cab mounts were perished. So anyhow, first time I put this thing together, I set it level. Now, some of you guys are probably smarter than I am. And I thought, oh, okay, these are new bushings. So I set the cab to level using just the factory setup. I didn't use any of the spacers that they supplied with it. And I'd show you the thicker spacer, but I used them all. But anyhow, I tightened it all up, and when I did, it dropped down, and I was down, basically 1/4 to 3/8 of an inch. Basically the thickness of that larger thick spacer that is supplied with the S&B kit. So if you're putting this together and you set it down with the factory setup and it's level, go ahead and take it back up. Put that 3/8 spacer or the thick spacer that they supply, drop it back down. When you tighten it down to the 60 foot-pounds, it's going to set that thing right on where you want it. All right, guys, I got one more tip here. Right here, a magnet that extends. This is going to be pretty helpful to when you're working on the radiator core support to remove the nut when you take the factory nut and bolt assembly off. And it's really helpful to drop the bolt back down in when you're installing the new S&B mounts. Without it, it makes it a lot more difficult. So if you guys like what you see here, again, my 97 F350, I got some decent content on that. I got my my ZF6 swap on here and the CCV filter that I installed in this thing as well. So do some things with this, and if you noticed, you can see the 54 and the 89 Bronco 2 up there. Hey, this is a Ford channel, so if you guys dig Fords and you're looking for Ford content, here's the place. So thanks for tuning in. If you like what you see, please like and subscribe. We'll catch you on the next one.